Και θα ξεκινήσουμε με την οργάνωση Slovenska filantropija, σίγουρα δεν το λέω σωστά. Η οργάνωση συγκεκριμένη που αποτελεί έναν από τους καλεσμένους μας στο εστιασμένο αυτό στο βιβλίο τραπέζι, το σημερινό, εργάζεται πάνω από 20 χρόνια για την αντιμετώπιση κοινωνικών προβλημάτων, για την προώθηση και για την ανάπτυξη του εθελοντισμού και τη συνεργασία μεταξύ των γενεών σε θέματα αλληλεγγύης, όπως επίσης εργάζεται ως προς την επίλυση θεμάτων που σχετίζονται με το προσφυγικό και το μεταναστευτικό και γενικά με την προστασία των ανθρωπίνων δικαιωμάτων.
So, hello to everybody. Hello, I'm Primoz, and I'm coming from smyrni. So, I'm coming from Slovenia, and just for the beginning, who are neighbor countries of Slovenia? Austria? Croatia? Italy? One more?
Cyprus.
No. Hungary. It's also Hungary. Why I'm just explaining to this, just to map you a little bit. I don't have a map of Europe and to put Slovenia on the map. Slovenia was part of so-called Balkan route, which was opened in September before it was going to Hungary. And our organization was founded in 1992 when we had the first time the refugee crisis in Slovenia with arrival of refugees from Bosnia. That time we hosted more than 50,000 refugees from Bosnia. And almost all of them, they went back to their country after end of war. So our organization had all the time the two main topics: volunteering, solidarity, and migrations. So the new situation, we really got fully into it. Just some statistical data about migration flux in Slovenia. It started in September 2015, just for a few days. But really, daily income of refugees started in October. The route, which was before going through Hungary, closed, so they choose their route across Slovenia to Austria. In this time from October till beginning of March, when the route was closed, was 477,000 people crossing Slovenia. Slovenia is a small country. We are just 2 million people in the country, so it means almost one quarter of Slovenes passed Slovenia in this time. And we had to respond also with volunteering because we found out that our state is not really ready, as they have been talking about, for reception of refugees. And we involved really a lot of refugees, especially at the beginning of the crisis. Altogether it was 1,317 volunteers. Not just from Slovenia, also a lot of them were abroad. Approximately around one quarter of volunteers were coming from other countries, like quite a lot of them from Germany, some from Italy, Swiss. These were the most countries. So they really did a lot of job. Volunteers have been working in volunteer centers 24 hours. What we have been doing a little bit more in the next slide. So this was just a registration form and the identity which they got it in the refugee center. So Slovenia did two types of refugee centers. Some of them, they were reception center, which were run by police, and some of them, they were accommodation center. So in reception center, all of refugees got interviewed by police, and later they got a special decision that they can continue their trip after they were security checked. And in accommodation center, they have been just waiting for agreement. It was police agreement between Austria, so when they can exactly arrive to Austria. So they have been just waiting in some kind of waiting area to continue their trip. So this is a picture out of one of refugee center where army, picture is quite bad, where army made us a huge tent with clothes. So in refugee centers, they were mainly, we were three organizations: Red Cross, Caritas, and us. Red Cross and Caritas, they also had this state agreement for delivering the food. So we have been more focusing on clothes and psychosocial support. And this is, for example, you can see the line waiting for clothes. You can see the army guy there. We have been all the time cooperating with army. We have some really nice experiences and some really bad experiences. They have been securing us because sometimes it was in the center like 3,000 or 4,000 people, and they just decided at once that they would like to go somewhere. So, but usually they were doing the best. Okay, next picture. This is also, you can see like the info stand. We have been providing the crucial informations. There was UNHCR, United Nations High Commission for Refugees, giving them some informations. But even it's like all of the people, they wanted to hear 3 or 4 times where they are and when they will leave the country. And it was quite hard for us and for volunteers because we didn't have exactly the information when they will leave and when they could continue the trip, because it was just a call from Austria, okay, 1,000 of them can come, and it was just like this. On the centers who were put it on the Austrian border. So here you can see one center. This is how the centers will look like. Quite bad. So huge tents. The state provides, together with UNHCR, blankets. As you can see, police all around, everything barricaded. And in fact, we have been the only one organization really going to the people, because police and all other organizations, they always step behind the protection. And we have been going to the people. We have been asking the people what do they need and what they would like. And lately we have been starting organizing the activities with the children inside the tent, and it was really nice. So people had to sleep in the centers like this, but it was really temporary. It was just for one day. Nobody was not really, maybe in the beginning some people have been staying more than 2 days in a situation like this. They have, all of them, they have been on the journey. Overall, it was really important also to identify for the people who want to see the doctor. It's like they were the medical tent, but it was outside. So we had to go to talk to the inside and to inform the people that there is the doctor. If they need a doctor, it's something. But also one another thing which we did, and which was really important. When the refugees came, we put it our volunteers there. They just said salam or hello, and if they were a mother with 4 or 5 children, they just took luggage of the mother that she could carry the child. And what we found out that the patience was really increasing with this, because we have been welcoming them. And lately also police ask us sometimes, okay, we have a problem. There is 500 people, 100 of them can go now, and 400 of them can go in 3 hours. And they ask us, volunteers, and we just went to the people, explain them the situation, and ask them, okay, let's organize your stuff. If police was starting doing this, as you can see, they were with full guns and everything, totally masked. It was always then messy because everybody wanted to be in the first line. So the rules of volunteers in the center was also when all these people left, we had to tidy up the place and to prepare. So as you can see here are then the blankets. Blankets were used for 1 week, and after 1 week we could change them. So we just then everything cleaned and prepare for another group. We have been complaining a lot that everything is stay on volunteers, that it's not, this is not correct. This shouldn't be the role of volunteers, tidying up, cleaning the center. And lately they have been included some public workers, but still not enough in this. So the thing is, the system which was in back is in fact quite important. We announced and we started to have orientation meetings. So it was the call outside for volunteers, and volunteers could come to our training where we give them the basic informations. What they will do, what is their status, and what rituals should they obey. And these were 2 hours trainings, always in the small group, not bigger than 20 people, that we could also talk with volunteers. So we opened online application for volunteers to collect their data. In fact, we did database of volunteers, and we asked volunteers, okay, do you have time during the week? Do you have time during the morning, afternoon, during the weekend? Do you have your own car, or how can you travel? Do you have some special expertise? So we have been building this database of volunteers that once when we really need, I don't know, translator, we could just check in our database who is speaking Arabic or Farsi language, and we could invite that person. What we also did is not just for volunteers, but for the all Slovenes. We opened the urgent emergency telephone line, and we are usually working from 8 till 4. And in this time, we have been working from 7 in the morning till 10 in the evening. And we have been all the time on the telephone line. So there were 4 of the people all the time in call center answering the phones of people who like to do volunteering, or people who like to donate something. There were some, I don't know, some Slovenes, and they just come with crazy idea. Oh, I have so many of toys, could I bring them to the center? Then you have to explain them why not, where, how to collect it, to check the warehouses, what is needed, and so on. So this was the role of the really centralized office. It was also run by volunteers because it was totally impossible to run just by employees. So also we had to place coordinators on the spots. We employed people who were then on the field, really welcoming volunteers, giving them instructions, and have been also controlling their work. Even if we have been training them, we didn't know what exactly will be the reaction of the people when they will come on the field. Once, it was really funny, one guy even, he looked really tough and so on, but when he came to the tent, which you saw the picture, he just went out and started vomiting. And because he couldn't accept this, that this is something like this is happening in Slovenia. So there was always someone who was coordinating the work of volunteers, who was the contact person with the police and with administration for civic protection. And this is what we also find very important, is that we started to work in the group of volunteers. It's like we got many calls. Okay, I have a time this afternoon, can I come? Yes, but it's always meant like informing the people, introducing them into the work. So lately in November we already started to focus more on volunteers, to motivate them that they stay in the work all this time till the end. When we had a huge database, but we also had to know how many volunteers is coming. It's like, for example, in one center we need, like in the morning and in the afternoon we needed 30 volunteers per shift, and during the night we needed 10 volunteers. So we just made a special sign-up application that people sign, that we send the sign-up links to the people that they applied, when exactly they are coming and so on, and that we could connect them also for the transfers and so on. Because especially in the beginning, the state was not sure if they will be giving money back, if they will reduce costs or not. And lately we also started to organize meetings for volunteers and supervision for them. There were volunteers, psychologists and psychotherapists who were there also for support to volunteers, because they have seen a lot of bad things. They have been told the stories which are not easy stories. And we also wanted to care about volunteers. So migration should stop. We are preparing for potentially new one in our organization, not state. So we, in this time also the change the number of people in asylum center. In asylum center in Slovenia, there were usually from 60 till 100 people. And now it's more than 300 people in asylum center in Slovenia. What is for Slovenia a lot? What is not really a lot for many other countries? But for Slovenia it was also shocking. Just to give you the one information, it's like from 1995 till last year, just 414 people got refugee status in Slovenia. So it is really, really hard to get refugee status in Slovenia. And also the asylum procedure is it's lasting from half a year till 2 years. So we got this increase of the number, so we started the whole intervention there. But also before, as I mentioned, we started to be implementing organization for UNICEF. We arranged with UNICEF, international UNICEF, that in these refugee centers, we started to make child-friendly spaces, that the places where the children come to play. And all of these people and were employed at our organization. So at the moment in Asylum Center we cover 2 units of them, because 2 expenditures, 2 branches, and we also have working with MDM, Médecins du Monde. So we have the health, we have a doctor, we have a nurse who are in asylum center now for this first help, because they have just about health-wise, they have just this urgent things. And we also are starting this week orientation program for people with refugee status. It's the special program because before we have been like one employee of us was working with people who got the status. If you saw before the number, it's like it was not many of them. So now we have the real full program for them prepared, 5 hours per day that they can be included into learning Slovene, learning languages, and also other things by their interest. So altogether, we still have more than 100 volunteers, because many of volunteers are also working with asylum seekers on learning Slovene or learning English, with some of them also learning German, because when they will get a positive status, they could get option for reconnection with family in Germany. So it's more than 70 volunteers now who are teaching people individually, and they are not just teaching, they are like mentoring them and guiding them, and also many activities for them. So, okay, this will be short because I have 20 minutes and I probably already went. I would just like to give you floor for the questions about situation in Slovenia and so on. Have any questions? Yeah?
I would like to know if you work some other organizations in the same field outside Slovenia.
Okay. Outside of Slovenia, we are working in Afghanistan, in Iraq, in Caucasus. We have been working in Turkey, in refugee camp. Especially our president, she's specialized in, she's psychotherapist and specialized in post-war conflicts. She's teaching a lot of other professionals how to deal with these issues. So yeah, otherwise, when it was the route, we have been working, like, we have been cooperating all the time with the organization on Balkan route, because it was like, when official information come that train with refugees from Croatia is coming, we already knew, because volunteers from Croatia called us, and we knew it. So, in this way, yes.
May you allow me? I have one more question. And I hope I'm not taking up the time. So, the thing is that, are you open, because it's, you have a really good...
The microphone.
I just want to say that you look like that your organization have a really great experience, and it's good to know that you are doing a really great job in Slovenia. And the good thing is that you, your organization can share this kind of experience with other organizations that work in the same field. Not only, I'm not talking about only Slovenia or Europe, but there is many other organizations also that share their experience. Let's say you also mentioned some countries, but I would like to know if you are open as well to share experience in African countries. You know, This is what I would like to know. If yes, of course, I would like to be the lead person that can do this, because as I told you before, I'm more focused also in Africa-Europe cooperation, and it would be good.
We are open. And the proof for that is that I'm here. In fact, it's just time limit that is making us the problem. It's still like, even if we have a little bit more employees, but all of them, they are just food workers. They have to be there 24 hours. We are still running the program in asylum center till 10 in the evening every day. Yes, we are. This was the question, and also what we learned out is in every crisis situation there is a lot of potential which wake up the society. The society at that time is always, I don't know, as it was, someone said that it was a huge rain on Corfu. It was like the really damaged rain, damaged storms in the Corfu. If they were there yesterday, you would start to think, okay, what I can do? Can I go there to help to repair something? Should I send them something? And this is the potential which usually, normally in every society, raise up in the beginning of a crisis. And you have to be there already prepared to give to this will the structure. Because if you don't give the structure, then a lot of things can go wrong. I don't know, we had some, on the beginning of crisis, before we informed all refugees coming from Germany and Swiss, that they don't, if they will bring the hot food, it will not be taken. The police will not allow to bring the hot food inside the center because it doesn't have HACCP, CCP standards and so on. It's no proof where it was cooked, if it was everything okay. So this is what is very important, to give really the structure already in the beginning, to give the right information, what you can do. So because people, they want to participate somehow, but everybody just have his own idea what should he do and what's the best. Yeah.
I would like to ask
the microphone.
I would like to ask at which part of Caucasus area do you cooperate?
I can list you later the towns exactly. So it was started in Beslan, working with teachers who survived the Beslan tragedy and continuing that area. So because yeah, she's really specialist in this.
Από ποιες χώρες κυρίως προέρχονται οι πρόσφυγες που έρχονται σε εσάς? Από ποιες χώρες, from which countries are the refugees that you have in your centers?
So, let's say, Slovenia was on this route from Greece, then to Macedonia, Serbia, Croatia, Slovenia, Austria. So refugees are coming, as you probably know, not just from Syria, they are coming also from Afghanistan, some from Iraq. We don't have many of refugees coming from African countries. We have some refugees coming from Georgia and that part. But But it's like, and now Slovenia already started this relocation program, so we already took all 25 refugees, asylum seekers from Greece into Slovenia. We'll take 580 people. This is what Slovenia promised to the European country, that's with relocation. But what we really found out, a lot of problems with these relocations, because people who are relocated, they are not really relocated on their will, and when they just had to give the interview about asylum procedure, they said that they don't want to have asylum in Slovenia. So it was then optional, okay, what now? They were relocated, they cannot go back, so what do we do now? So this relocation also caused a lot of problems. I think that's all. Now I'm staying with you, so you could also ask me more during the breaks. So thank you for patience.